Hi, I'm Todd Wente, and this is the Daily 180. 180 seconds of motivation and inspiration intended to help you take action and improve your life. This is episode 228 of the Daily 180, and today I want to talk about habits. Specifically, I want to talk about a very interesting kind of a habit and the insight that I've gotten over the last couple of days about that habit. The habit is tying my shoes. Now, I know most of you are probably sitting there saying, Todd, for crying out loud, of all the things that you could talk about, why are you talking about tying your shoes? Well, let me share a little story with you. About 10 years ago, one of my fellow students that was going through my master's program with me, Yvette, if I'm remembering correctly, showed us how she tied her shoes in less than a second. Now, she didn't show us how to do it. She showed us that she could tie her shoes in less than a second. Now, that intrigued me. It has always intrigued me, and it has been fascinating. Well, I started a little bit of a search, and I think I've talked about this before here on the Daily 180. I started a search then to try and find where I could go to get some information about tying my shoes. I found two very interesting videos. One of them that talked about the fact that tying your shoes, most of us do it wrong. We tie the weak form of the knot. The other one that I found actually showed how to tie them in a minute. Now, with those two pieces of information, I have been trying to adjust what I do with tying my shoes, and guess what? It's really hard. Once you've learned how to do something, learning how to undo it or do it differently can be very challenging. So what have I been doing with this information, and what does this have to do with the Daily 180? Well, the first thing that I've done is, after recognizing that there's a strong and a weak form of the knot, and what happens when the weak form of the knot is used, I simply continue to do that, but then pre-position the knot so that it adjusts itself automatically for the weak form, and I don't have to worry about my shoes coming untied as easily, because once you reposition the knot, it goes into a strong form. That's really the key, I think. As we get new information, we need to take a look at the things that are going on in our lives and say, is this really working the way that I want, or can I make some kind of a fine-tuning adjustment to it to make it work? I will probably never be successful, or at least it will take me an extremely long time to learn to be successful at changing the way that I tie my shoes, at least as far as the actual knot goes. But I have been able to adapt that habit just a little bit to make my knots a little bit stronger and less likely to come undone because of new information that I've received. That kind of insight we could apply to each and every habit that we have in our lives, especially to ones that don't seem to be getting us the results we want. My name is Todd Wente. This has been the Daily 180. If you like what we're doing here, give us a thumbs up, give us a share. We'd love to have you subscribe and come with us on the rest of the journey. In the meantime, go forth and conquer. We'll see you next time.